10 WWE superstars who should move in the WWE Draft 2022 is now here on SCW. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave in the comments in the comment section, please, and like and share the video as well. Well, it's coming near draft season once again, so it's time to look at the Raw and SmackDown rosters, look at the superstars who potentially could do with a move in the upcoming draft to the opposite show. Now, some of it could be lack of TV time, could be creative booking not quite going in the right direction, could be a simple case of that perhaps maybe with some moves that may be in mind, perhaps maybe they might be not so much in a prominent role going forward for the next 12 months on that current show. So without further ado, let's get straight into it then and look at 10 WWE superstars who should move in the upcoming WWE Draft in 2022. And I'm going to start by looking from people who should be moving from Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown. And I'm going to start off with the face that runs the place, AJ Styles. Now, the best way to put this over to you on Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles has always been seen as a mid-carder, never a top-tier talent, maybe someone that may challenge occasionally for the world title, but never becoming a world champion. When AJ Styles is on Friday Night SmackDown, he is always the world champion, the biggest star on that brand. And right now, Roman Reigns is the top guy on SmackDown, and it has been many years since we've seen Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles, a feud I would love to see play out one more time. So for me, AJ Styles to be seen as a top tier talent to go against Roman Reigns, for me, it's a shoo-in. AJ Styles should move over to SmackDown in the 2022 draft. Next, let's talk about Alexa Bliss. Now, Alexa Bliss, for me, right now in WWE, is still one of the top female talents, but she's not been a champion for many, many years, unless you count the 24/7 championship. But it is time to get her back in position to be one of the top tier talents. For me, to go against Liv Morgan on a SmackDown, I think would make a lot of sense. And what would be also great for Alexa Bliss since her return would be some character direction. It feels like right now, Alexa Bliss is just there on Monday Night Raw. Of course, before she was the goddess, she's been the character that was a bit fiendish, if you want, with the Lily doll. She's sort of stuck in between right now with not a lot really going on with that character. I'd like to establish that with Alexa Bliss going forward, and even though she's sort of on the babyface side right now, I feel she does her best work as a heel. I do like this cocky, arrogant Bliss, someone that's going to go out and take what she wants. So for me, I want to see a heel turn, I want to see the Bliss of old, and I want to see it on Friday Night SmackDown. Like I say, we had a little bit of a tease of Bliss versus Liv Morgan previously. I want to see it again, but this time in a proper feud for the SmackDown Women's Championship. My next selection will be Judgment Day. Now, of course, when this group first started with Edge at the helm, recruiting Damian Priest, recruiting Rhea Ripley, was one of the highlights of Raw. I felt it had a lot of potential, and there was a real shocking twist when Finn Balor came into the group, but at the expense of kicking Edge out of the group. The problem is, since then, this group has kind of got lost in the shuffle. It's not really gone anywhere. It's been waiting for Edge to come back. It had a feud with the Mysterios where they've lost quite a bit, and now they're probably going to lose to Edge as well. For me personally, after that, it feels like that Judgment Day is going to need a new direction, and for me, I don't want to see them split up. I do think that they've got a lot of potential as a group together, but I think a move to SmackDown could be just what they need. You could move Finn Balor, now with Triple H in power, to be one of the top guys of the group, maybe go for the top championship. You've got Damian Priest, who's a natural fit for the mid-card championship at this point, and Rhea Ripley, of course, Triple H knows how to book her best and can get her back towards the top end of the women's division and being an actual threat. To be honest, Rhea Ripley, her booking since joining Judgment Day has still been flawless. I've enjoyed the way she has been booked, and of course, when Judgment Day hasn't really been on TV, she's been off of TV, injured and not being able to go, not even able to appear on TV anyway, so it's not really made a difference to her character at this point. But for me, Judgment Day on SmackDown, I think it ticks a lot of boxes. I think you can do a lot with it, and I do think a fresh start for them might be just what they need. Next pick for me is Kevin Owens. Now, Kevin Owens has had a good run on Monday night since going there last year. Of course, he turned heel at the time, was establishing their friendship with Seth Rollins, got himself into a WrestleMania main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Injury has kind of played its part since, and KO has missed quite a bit of TV time, hasn't really done him the biggest favour. Of course, he had a comedy angle with Ezekiel as well, which, let's be fair, had a fantastic start, but its middle and finish really was a bit lackluster until Triple H came in and basically made Kevin Owens the prize fighter once again, just destroying Ezekiel. Hopefully now KO can get back onto the right direction, and the right direction for me could be on Friday Night SmackDown. There has been, according to Tom Collahue sources, discussion in-house that Kevin Owens could be a babyface once again. again in the near future in WWE. And if that is to be the case, I'd definitely like to see him move over to SmackDown, because Sami Zayn right now has been trying to get into the bloodline, trying to be the honorary Uso. It's not working. They're saying now, the Usos, to Sami Zayn, if you want to hang with the bloodline, you've got to step up your game. And I think the way for Sami to step up is to initially be stepped on by the bloodline and get revenge to win the tag team championships. And of course, who better to be a tag team partner for Sami Zayn than his long-time best friend? They even had a KO show together earlier this year as heels. Imagine if they were to come together as babyfaces and win the unified tag team championships. I think it could be a great moment in WWE if that was to take place. Last selection from Raw to SmackDown for me is Veer Mahan. Now this one quite straightforward. Veer was coming to Raw for a long time, and well, eventually he came to Monday Night Raw. Not to do a lot, had a mini feud with the Mysterios, has kind of gone missing ever since. There felt like there was no real plans for Veer Mahan in WWE, but a wave of momentum was with Veer when he was coming to Raw. I just wonder if he could perhaps maybe come to SmackDown instead and get a fresh start. Maybe Veer Mahan would have a better chance of succeeding in WWE. I think he's been mishandled and misused from the start, but the guy seems like he's good in ring. He's got a good promo as well. I do think Veer could be someone that fans could cheer if he'd actually come in as a babyface to begin with, but at the same time, someone that people could get on board with as a prominent superstar in WWE, perhaps in and around the mid-card area. So for me, I would say Veer Mahan over to SmackDown. You could even see Sanga being brought up and they could reunite the tag team that they had before and push them in the tag team division. I wouldn't be against that either. So that's 5 draft picks from Raw to SmackDown. Let's go with 5 draft picks from SmackDown to Raw, shall we? I'm going to start off with Rowdy Ronda Rousey, because Ronda Rousey, since coming back to WWE this time around at the Royal Rumble, it hasn't really worked for me. I don't know, has it worked for you? Let me know in the comments below. Yes, fans have been cheering for Ronda Rousey for a period of time in her rivalry with Charlotte Flair, but I just feel as a promo, it's not a natural fit seeing Ronda as a babyface. Of course, at SummerSlam, it feels like we've got the beginning stages of a heel turn now for Ronda Rousey. We're starting to see a few more sharp-tongued comments from Ronda Rousey, and I've got to say, I'm enjoying that a bit more. But what goes with a fresh character, sometimes a fresh show can help enhance that to a fresh start, and Ronda Rousey can get back to the show she was on previously, and perhaps even go to start building with the Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch match at WrestleMania 39. It's the match we all want to see, isn't it? It's the match that we thought Ronda would come back to, but they held it off for 12 months, so let's see how it will take place. Becky Lynch is out off injured right now. I expect her to still be one of the top faces of Monday Night Raw on return. It keeps her out of the championship picture as well. If Ronda Rousey was to move over to Raw, perhaps even win the Raw Women's Championship from Bianca Belair towards the end of the year, you can start building in Rousey versus Lynch for WrestleMania 39. For me, this makes a lot of sense. It ticks a lot of boxes. So for me, Ronda Rousey to Monday Night Raw would be a good move as well, because then also when you look on the SmackDown side, someone like Liv Morgan, you know, it's worked so far for her to get a victory over Ronda Rousey on a couple of occasions, but they've both felt like flukes. If you can move Ronda Rousey, who's a legitimate badass MMA UFC fighter, over to Raw, Liv Morgan can go on to different targets, and I think then fans can get back on side with what's going on with Liv Morgan. So it actually can help 2 superstars rather than just one in this instance. Next, we're going to talk about Raquel Rodriguez. Now, let's be fair, smiling babyface Raquel doesn't work for me. I miss Big Mama Cool that we got in NXT, a badass who would just kick ass at any given opportunity, someone that I think is much in need of a heel turn, just like Ronda Rousey was in need of it. And I think a change of show again, it's the same pattern once again. To move her over to Monday nights would be quite nice. And as I've moved Rhea Ripley over to SmackDown as well, you've got 2 of the bigger superstars on separate shows still. Raquel then can go against the likes of, I don't know, perhaps like we said, Bianca Belair. We've got Becky Lynch on Raw right now. We've got Asuka over there. So there's lots of people that can be feuding there with Raquel Rodriguez if she was to go on and be a heel. Of course, if she's to be a babyface, we still have a match there with Rousey. We could even have other superstars that she could feud with as well, like Bayley, for example, Control. We'll have to wait and see how that would play out. My next selection may surprise a few. I'm going to go for Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew McIntyre for me has been the top babyface of SmackDown. He's done a great job in that role. But if I'm moving the likes of AJ, perhaps maybe KO if he was to turn babyface over to SmackDown, we should balance that out and move Drew back over to Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre was doing his best work on Monday night. So if we look at the turn back up the Royal Rumble in 2020, being the champion during the pandemic era, Drew was carrying that show and was doing a great job. When you look on SmackDown, Drew has been sort of in and around the upper mid card for most of the time, but now he's got the big program with Roman Reigns and it's time to sink or swim. Is Drew going to become a champion again or not? Time will tell him that at the time of recording, but one thing is for sure for me, Drew McIntyre, once you face Roman Reigns, I see Roman remaining on SmackDown. You have to move Drew McIntyre back over to Monday Night Raw. There was plenty of superstars we could see him feud with as well, particularly Seth Rollins is one I would love to see. We've not seen Drew versus Seth in a high profile program under these current gimmicks, so that's something I would like to see. Also, when Cody Rhodes returns, top babyface versus top babyface, that could be seen as a big time deal as well around the occasion. So for me, I'd like to see a lot of those matches go down. So yeah, for me, Drew McIntyre, a move over to Raw. Plus, when we keep the likes of Sheamus on SmackDown as well, I personally feel from that reasoning, Drew McIntyre, we've seen that play out a million times now. Even though I have great matches every single time, it's time to give Drew something fresh, and I think fresh for him actually right now could be to go back to Monday nights. My next selection will be Los Lotharios, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. Mainly comes down to TV time with these guys. They've got a lot of potential as a tag team, but no TV time to work with on SmackDown. Yes, they have just appeared now with the Maximum Male Models skits that's going on, but that's a very lower card feud, and I still feel they're not going to get much TV time moving forward on Friday Night SmackDown. A move to Monday Night Raw, a fresh division to work with, great talent on Monday Night Raw in the tag team division there as well. I think that these two could thrive a lot better. So for me, I'd move Los Lotharios over to Mondays. The last superstar I'm going to go with is Madcap Mouse. Now, Madcap's had a hell of a 2022, of course being the sidekick of Happy Corbin. They then went on to break up. They went on to actually feud from that point. Madcap also winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And let's not forget, with the exception of SummerSlam and WrestleMania, if you don't count the Battle Royal on WrestleMania SmackDown, Madcap Moss has been on every single premium live event this year, which is great for a new superstar trying to get his foot in the door in WWE. But to continue that momentum for Madcap Moss, it's starting to fade away on SmackDown. A move to Monday night gives him more TV time and more chance to continue that progress. Perhaps go for a mid-card championship, that could make sense as well on Monday nights. For me, Madcap Moss at this moment feels a little bit lost all of a sudden because he's dropped the gimmick he had, which, let's be fair, wasn't the best gimmick. He needed to change it up a little bit, but he seems to have no character at the moment. And I think to get him a character, to keep pushing him as they have been, I think Madcap could be one of the standouts in the near future. Maybe give him his name Riddick back, maybe that would help him. Riddick Moss, like I say, he's got a lot of potential, he's great in ring. For me, he just needs a bit of direction, and I think the direction he should get in the next couple of months is a move to Monday nights. So that's my thoughts there on 10 WWE superstars who should move in the WWE Draft. Who do you think should move in the WWE Draft? I think there's plenty of names we could be discussing, so let's do so in the comments below right now. Get involved with this video. If you've enjoyed it, then please do like it as well. Share with a friend, let them know SCW is here. Subscribe as well if you are new, and of course if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell so you know each and every time a video is released. Coming to the channel as well, 10 WWE superstars who should not move in the WWE Draft will be coming. Also, potential NXT 2.0 call-ups also to Raw and SmackDown. So plenty of draft videos in the draft season. As we get close to when the draft is announced as well, I'll give you my full predictions of who will be moving and staying in the WWE Draft 2022. But that's all from me anyway. Thanks for watching. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube. Check out the videos on the side of the screen right now. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.